remember standing in the bathroom like, please, Lord, let me not have this baby on my bathroom floor. Okay, we're gonna stop. We're gonna get the doctor because your baby's head is right there. Well, hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for today's video and so excited to share my birth story with you guys. It's been a little over a month since I've posted, but a lot has happened in that month, so I hope to make a few videos to get caught up with everything. But the biggest thing that has happened in the last month is that I have had my second baby. If this is the first video you are seeing from me, hi, my name is Riley. I have a 20-month-old little boy and I have almost a 1-month-old little girl, and today we're going to be talking about her birth story, things leading up to it, and then how everything played out. So I'm super excited to share everything with you guys. I did make myself some notes to kind of stay on track because this is probably going to be a chattier video, so get yourself a little drink. I have a homemade pink drink that I've been making myself lately, and they are so good. This one is just a cran strawberry juice, coconut milk, and then I put sweet cream cold foam on top, and it is so good. So definitely grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack, and I'm gonna tell you guys all about the birth of little Isla. It was definitely a super positive experience, and I did have a hospital birth with an epidural. So if you're looking for a positive experience with the same scenario, or you are looking to have the same sort of birth plan, I hope this gives you some encouragement and kind of eases your mind a little bit about giving birth, because birth is honestly one of my favorite parts. I love being pregnant. I love giving birth. I know that I'm kind of in the minority of feeling that way. A lot of people don't enjoy either or enjoy one or the other, but birth is such an exciting time, getting to meet your baby, and honestly both times now I've had a really positive experience, and I will leave my birth story with my son linked down below if you guys want to see that one as well. But I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna go ahead and get into Isla's birth story. My birth story is gonna start on March 2nd, and this was the day I had my 38-week appointment. I was 38 weeks and 4 days, and I had my son at exactly 38 weeks. So this whole week I was just kind of anxious, a little impatient, like waiting for something to happen. I was honestly like symptom seeking. I was thinking, this could be it. Is this the start of labor? So a few days before that, I had had some inconsistent contractions that would like pick up and be consistent for a little bit and kind of die off and just would never turn into anything. But the night before this, I had started having contractions late into the night, early into the morning, and luckily my appointment was early in the morning. So I went to my 38-week appointment, told my doctor what was going on, that I was having contractions, and with my son, all of my contractions, I felt them in my back, and this was honestly the same way. So he asked me if I wanted him to check my cervix, and I went ahead and did it just because I wanted to see if I was making any progress, if this was the real deal. So he checked me and I was at a 3, almost a 4, and I was about 80% effaced. So he did a little like half membrane sweep and told me that he would probably see me that night, if not the next day. And he told me that he was the on-call doctor that night, so if I did happen to come in, that he would be the doctor who would be seeing me. So I was really hoping that I went into labor that night. So when I came home, me and my husband went on a walk around the neighborhood. I was doing curb walking. I was doing all the things that I could do to try to help keep these contractions moving along. Well, after that, he said, well, why don't we just go to the golf course and just have one last little night as a family. And this was really reminiscent of my birth with my son, because we did the exact same thing. All day my contractions had been like 5 to 7 minutes apart. Some were 10 minutes, like 4 minutes. They were kind of all over the place. But I feel like once we got to the golf course, they were consistently like 5 to 7 minutes apart. I was like running around trying to wrangle my toddler on a golf course, so I think that helped me out a little bit. But as we were leaving the golf course, my husband's like, let's go and get some dinner just in case tonight is the night we can get a big dinner and be ready to go. So we went and got some Subway. So we got back from the golf course around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and while we were eating dinner, my contractions really picked up. They were starting to get really close, like 3 and 4 minutes apart, stretching that 45-second minute range, and my little contraction timer app that I had was telling me, go to the hospital, get ready, get your things ready, go to the hospital. So my husband's like, I'm gonna hop in the shower just so I can get one last good shower in before we go to the hospital. And I plan to do the same because my contractions were painful, but they didn't feel quite as painful as they felt when I was in labor with my son. So he went and got in the shower. I finished up getting dinner ready. I was calling my mom, I was calling my sisters, letting them know what was going on. We ended up calling my mother-in-law to tell her that I was in labor and that we needed her to come and watch our son. So after my husband got out of the shower, I went to take a shower, and this is when I got a little bit nervous because I got the urge to use the bathroom. I had a lot of pressure, and I just remember standing in the bathroom like, please Lord, let me not have this baby on my bathroom floor, because that is when things started to get pretty intense and feel like active labor with my son. So I just hopped in the shower really quick, rinsed off my body. I didn't wash my hair, I didn't wash my face, anything. I just wanted to freshen up a little bit, threw on some sweats, and we were out the door. We left our house around 7 o'clock because the hospital is about 45 minutes away. So I went ahead and called the on-call line on my way to the hospital, just because I didn't know how fast things were moving. And it took my doctor about 15 minutes to get back with me. But on the phone, we told him what was going on, and he's like, okay, you can come in, we'll check you, see if you're in active labor, see what's going on. But from what you're saying, it sounds like things are moving pretty quick. So we got to the hospital around 7:45, 8 o'clock-ish, and got checked in. And then around 8:15, I got into my room, and my doctor came in and checked me. And this was very reminiscent of when I had my son, and I was about 5 to 6 centimeters dilated, and I was 90% effaced, so I was definitely staying. And they started to get all of my paperwork ready. I had to do all of my registration, and they got my IV put in around 8:30. So I was Group B strep positive with my son, and I was also Group B strep positive this time as well. So I had to get some antibiotics before I could deliver, and then I had to get a bag of fluid before I could get my epidural. So it took me from 8:30 to 10, and I just remember having to sit there and really breathe through my contractions, really focus on relaxing my body. And one thing I told myself in that like 2-hour stint was, I can do anything for a minute. And I would take a deep breath, and I would count down from 10, or however as long as my contraction would last. Sometimes I had to start over if it was a really long one, but that's something that really helped me get through those contractions that were really painful. And it's not very fun having to breathe through contractions while you're having to do paperwork, and the nurses are asking you all of these questions, and you're getting your IV and everything. But also, it was kind of a good little distraction. Yes, around 10 p.m. they came in, gave me the epidural, and honestly, do not be afraid of the epidural. Both times I've had a great experience. The only thing you feel is the little pinch from the numbing, and then it's just kind of a weird pressure feeling in your back. But definitely by the time I was getting the epidural, that was the least of my worries. I just wanted to be able to relax and not be in pain anymore. So anyone who has a natural labor, props to you, because my goodness, I do not think that I could do it. Around 10:45, they came in and broke my water and checked me again. I tried to sleep a little bit, but my epidural was kind of lopsided for the first little bit that I had it. So they were constantly coming in and rolling me from one side and rolling me to the other side, because I was still feeling that labor in my back. But I finally got to rest after we got all of that situated and straightened out. And they came in and checked me again, and I was at like an 8.5. So they ended up giving me the peanut ball to help me labor down a little bit, because my baby was still at a pretty high station. And then at 12:21, my doctor came in and checked me, and I was at a 9.5, and I was fully effaced. So they started prepping everything for pushing, and my nurse had me do a few practice pushes before my doctor came in, and she's like, okay, we're gonna stop, we're gonna get the doctor because your baby's head is right there. So I ended up starting pushing at 12:58, and in 3 contractions and 6 minutes of pushing, little Isla was here, and her birth could have been a little bit scarier, a little bit more of an emergency than we originally thought. She came out sunny side up, so her face was facing the ceiling instead of facing down towards like the bed or towards my butt, and oftentimes my doctor told me that ends up in a C-section. So the nurses and the doctors told me you are a rock star for pushing her out, 1, because she was sunny side up, and 2, that quickly with her being a sunny side up baby. And she also came out with the cord around her neck. So just a lot of scary things that happened, but it ended up being okay. None of the nurses and my doctor never had me worry about anything. And also usually with a sunny side up birth of a baby, you tear. And this time I only had 2 little 1st-degree tears, and they healed really well. I'm currently 3, almost 4 weeks postpartum, and I'm pretty much completely healed. So everything went so good. She weighed 6 pounds, 12 ounces, and she was 19 1/4 inches long. So she was a tiny little girl. My son was a whole pound heavier and a whole inch longer than her. So I think that kind of helped my situation with her being sunny side up, but definitely a very positive experience this go around. But postpartum especially has been a night and day difference for me. After she was born, we got to do skin to skin, we got to do that golden hour, and she latched right away. And if you follow me for a while, you'll know that the birth of my son, he swallowed a lot of fluid on the way out and had to go to the NICU because he was having trouble breathing. So I'm very thankful that I got to do that this time. But I want to talk all things postpartum in a different video, just about my experience from transitioning from 1 to 2 kids and how postpartum has been different for me this time. Because also, if you followed me for a while, you know I struggled with the baby blues pretty bad after having my son, but this time I have not had that really at all. Obviously there's emotional, hormonal moments, tears, happy and sad, so I don't really want to sugarcoat it, but definitely another story for another day. But I will leave all of my social media linked down below for you guys if you are interested in following me elsewhere. I'm pretty active on my Instagram stories, and I'm starting to get back into making some TikToks just because I feel really creative over there. But I do have a lot of plans to upload more consistently on YouTube with a lot of motherhood content, just a postpartum video, postpartum essentials, all things newborn, transitioning from 1 to 2 babies, having 2 under 2, all the things. I have a lot of big plans for my YouTube channel in the next coming weeks, and I'm prepping for all the spring things, all of my gardening stuff. We're going to be starting on that soon. So if you're not fully interested in the motherhood content, I will have some of that to kind of break things up. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope it gave you a little bit of encouragement if you are getting ready to give birth and just wanted to hear a positive birth story. But I think that is all that I have for today's video. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.